Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. This is part 2 of this wrap. And one thing, if I was doing this for real, I would maybe go up to Object and ungroup it all, and then select that little, see that little bit of a partial of a flower? I'd delete that. I'd go on the other side, and remember, because we got an exact mirror of our graphic. And then that way, only these few items have to hit. And then, of course, I would group it together. So, I don't know if you watched the first video, but we elongated it. We made it a little bit longer. That is, when you're watching the laser run, and you can see this is, I didn't do it when it ended, but this is where it ended. I mean, I'm close enough where nobody would tell any difference in the wrap. I mean, this is the way it would look, and there's those two pieces. I took a picture of the screen, the way it probably should look, and maybe even, well, even more. Because remember, we changed the angle of this, so some of the flowers aren't going to work. But if you don't do that, I don't think it'll work. So if you were doing the whole cup, you would see it start, and then the cup rotates. And if it was a little longer, it's going to start engraving again. We'll just be sitting there watching and raise your laser lid, and your laser will quit running and quit engraving. It might keep going, but it's going to quit running. And you'd almost guaranteed to have a perfect match like that. Now, if you ever wanted to do a test just to see if some of your measurements are right, you could always put blue painter's tape. I ran this like 100 speed at 20 power and just marked the tape. It didn't mark the, I hope it didn't mark the cup. Doesn't really matter if it did or not. But if you wanted to test it, you could put tape and then run it center and start with the tape exact dead bottom. And you could do this very easily by testing this. And what you need to do, we're going to set it, this thing's 3 inches tall. We're going to set our nudge factor for 4. And we're going to nudge that I didn't make a copy. Hit the plus key and make a copy. I'm going to go ahead and delete all this. This is where the crop tool could really help you. We've got 2 copies with the one selected. That's pretty important, because if you don't select it, the crop tool will take everything out. So select it, take your crop tool, and just crop that end of it and hit crop. Now you see what it did, it took away that end, but I've still got my entire picture. Now same thing here, select that one, go to your crop tool, crop this in. And what this is going to do, I must have hit crop twice. What this is going to, and then nudge it up. These are still the same distance apart. It's funny that it's a little bit different, but it's, I mean, it's within margins. And then group this together, Control G, and flip it 90 degrees, and then run your test. And then that way you can do it all on a piece of tape, and you don't have to waste the time of going all the way around the cup. Anyway, I hope that kind of made sense. But if you see what I'm talking about, if we ungroup this, these are going to be a little bit off. These are going to match perfectly, but this is what it's going to look like if you did it like on a piece of board. The top is going to match, but the bottom's not. Well, the taper of the cup should allow for that, if I'm right. Now that I kind of think about it, you almost want to taper the other direction. But that's why you can play around with it. But even with that said, in that design, that's close enough for a wrap. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.